Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. In this video, I would like to cover two topics in PHP, that is arrays and functions. So I would like to test my PHP files on my server. So first I would like to see if my server is here. Nope, it is not here. So what do? I go to the C drive and start my server. Here, C drive, XAMPP, all the way down. Look for control panel. This is exam control panel. Double click, and then here, if it is not starting automatically, I will click on these two and start them. Then just minimize. In this folder, I would need to upload my files here on htdocs. So all my files will be here in this folder. So I'm going to test many files here on the server, that is on arrays and functions. So first let me open a browser and test to see if the server is working. So I'm gonna do localhost /index.php. Here it is. So my server is working, everything is fine. So now let me start my first example on arrays. Alright, so let me open a file here I have created before, which is this file. This file is on arrays. Arrays in PHP is the same concepts that you have studied in other programming languages, because every programming language might have different syntax a little bit, but the idea is the same. Look at this example. First, this is a PHP code. The rest here is HTML code, and here is HTML code. As I told you before, you can just remove this and remove this and leave the PHP file just this. And you can remove this completely and remove this and start your PHP file, starting with angle bracket. This is angle bracket. The curly bracket, by the way, is this is the brace curly bracket. This is just a bracket. This is a curly bracket, but this is an angle bracket, which is like a less than sign. Less than is question mark PHP, and then you end with question mark with a greater than, which is an angle bracket type. You can create a variable, declare a variable. In this example, I have a variable called cars. As you know, in PHP we put a $sign before a variable name. So equal to array. Array here is a keyword for array in PHP. Then I have three types of cars: Volvo, BMW, and Toyota. These three, I can display them using index one by one, or I can use a loop, same like I did in Java and C++, in which I will start the array from 0 element and then less than 3. Less than 3, because from 0 to less than 3 they are 3. So 0, 1, and 2 they are 3. Because if you start from 1, you're going to start from BMW, but you'd like to start from Volvo to display them. Then $i++, which is in the variable I, you will use it here in the array name, in the echo statement, echo $cars between two brackets, the counter which you use in your for loop. So if you have another car, like for example say for example you have another type of car, say Honda for example. So you would say what here? You would say for I equal 0, I less than what? Less than 4. You change this to less than 4. And then here echo the array name between two brackets, $i, which is a counter. It could be any name, but since you use I, you have to use it here. This one is to concatenate a new line. What does that mean? It means here this dot means concatenation, means you would like to join or merge a break line with an individual element of the cars. In Java or your JavaScript we use a plus, but here we use a dot, just a dot. What does that mean? It means that I'm going to see Volvo, then BMW, then Toyota, then Honda, each one in a line by itself, vertically. So let me save the file and go here and execute it. It's called array1.php. So here it is, Volvo, BMW, Toyota, and Honda. Because if you don't use this break between them, you will see them listed in horizontal line, in one line. So here I would like to use BR, and this will show them in vertical. So this is example number 1. Array number 2. Okay, this one you make it a little bit bigger. It's different from that one because I'm using subscript. So here I would like to join a text or a string, I like, with a space, I like, echo, I like what? I like, and then join this or merge or concatenate the first one, which is Volvo, to the comma, there's a comma, and then concatenate the second one, which is this one. Cars 1 means BMW. Because it starts from 0, so the second one is cars 1, and you join also concatenate the word and. You see the space here and the space here inside the quotations. Concatenate again with what? With cars 2. Cars 2 here is Toyota, which is the third element of the array, and then concatenate a dot at the end, which is a period. So, and then as I told you, you can remove this completely and this, or you can just execute it inside an HTML code. So this is called array2. Let me just put 2 here, and yeah, I like Volvo, comma, BMW, and Toyota, dot. So this is exactly as you see here in this file. Let me see a third example, which is array3. Make it bigger as well. Here it is. Alright, what is this? This is a 2-dimensional array, which is an array inside an array. We can do it differently. We can use loops, which is nested loops, or we can use an array inside an array. You can use array here, and then inside it you have different 3 arrays. This is the first array, the first row, and second row, and the third row, and the fourth row. For each row I have these 3 elements, like Volvo 22 and 18, BMW 15, 13, Saab 5, 2, 4, 17, and 15. So what do I do here? I use the double bracket for 2-dimensional array. So the array name and double bracket 0, 0. What is 0, 0? 0, 0 means the first one. 0 row, 0 row, 0 column. So echo, what is this? This is Volvo. So you can say Volvo, and then in a stock, which is concatenated here, and 0, 1. What is 0, 1? 0, 1 is this one, and the first row and the second column. Here is the second column. So if you'd like to make it like that, so that you can see it like a table, rows and columns. So you can see that actually here I'm treating it like this is rows and these columns. So 0, 1, 0, 1 here, 22. 0, 2 is this one. That means the first row and the third element of the array, which is 18. So this one will give you Volvo in stock 22, sold 18. In stock 22, sold 18, something like that. And then for the second one here, cars 10. 10 is this one. That means the row number 2, which is denoted by this subscript 1, 0. The 0 means the first column. And for 15 here, 1 1, this one is the 1 1, and then here for 1 2 is the last one here, 13, and so forth for the rest of them, for sub and fort. Yani 3 0, that means here fort, that means the fourth element of the array, which is denoted by 3. 0 means the first column, and then here 3 1, which is 17, and the last one here is 3 2, which is the last element here, 15. If I save this one, I would like to see how it works. Then I can actually put here array 3. As I told you, this one will show you the two-dimensional array that looks like this. Volo in stock 22 sold 18, and so on. Ford in stock 17 sold 15, which is these values. This is a two-dimensional array. It could be done like that, or you can use, as I said, a loop, which is nested loop. I might have an example. I'm not sure. Let me see if I have example for that. But this example here that you see here is using what is called this symbol to this is number 4. This is called associative array. Associative array is an array that use name keys that are assigned to them. There are two ways to create this associative array. It's called associative array. The previous one that you have seen is called two-dimensional array, but this is associative array. Associative array, in this one, you have, for example, an array with name, like a string that points to specific value, and then another string that points to another specific value. All of them are strings, and then another string point to a specific value. And then I have this statement which says echo Peter is what? Concatenate $h, and then put Peter, which is the name here, inside the array between single quotation, and then years old. This is a string, as is string. So here, for example, Peter is 35 years old, Ben is 37 years old, Joe is 47 years old. But this one will this actually will give me only the information for what? For Peter. So let me execute that example. Say Peter is 35 years old, which is this example here, as you have seen earlier. This one. So this is my PHP file, and this is my my output. Peter is 35 years old. 35 years old. So you are actually concatenate age. Age is the name of my array, but here you put Peter between bracket and put single quotation around Peter. Concatenate this string. So this one will give you Peter is, which is this one. Peter is. All right. Then concatenate the number of years, which is 35, which has been denoted by this this symbol here, to pointing to 35, and it will replace .age with Peter to the value that Peter is pointing to, which is 35, and then concatenate the rest of it like that. So if you have, for example, put Joe here, Joe, and then you put here Joe is, then you save, then you can see what happens here. Joe is 43 years old, which is the age of Joe. Let me see a different example in which I have this also. I can, what is it called? it is called this is a loop using inside another loop to get this element of the array, which is the same example that I have seen earlier, guys. Let me close these files and then work with this file here, which is the two-dimensional array. The two-dimensional array using nested loop, which is a loop inside a loop. So this is a for loop and this is a for loop. So the first loop for rows and the second loop for columns, but I am actually using bullets here, UL and UL. So I'm putting actually the cars inside the list and what's it called, unordered list. So we have the same example here, which is a nested array for the same values that I have here. Okay, here I used this loop for row equal 1. Here I don't want to start from 0, I want to start from 1. So this one will actually give me the number 1 and then number 2 and then number 3, 1 2 3, like that, because here I would like to first display the row number. The row number here, it will be displayed by this dollar row. So it says row number 1 because here starting from 1. This is the first statement, and then the nested loop will give me what? The nested loop will give me the values for the array, which is starting from 0 until less than 3, and 0 1 2, because I have only 3 values in each array, and then column plus plus, and then here it will display the nested array. You have to use column and row, but these columns and row, the first value for the bracket is for rows, which is this variable here, and the second value for the bracket is the dollar column, like that. So you will see this one as a nested array in bullets, same like this. So this is number 5. Let me just execute it. You see that this is the information as I told you before. So row number 1, row number 2, no, row number 3. You see them bold like that. Why? Because they have B here, this B and B. That means this is row number 1 first. The first loop will display for row number 1, row number 2, number 3 in bold. Yes, in bold. You can actually use colors and so forth as well, but they are bullets. So if you use OL here instead of UL, you will see also this one has been displayed like in 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, like that. So this is a nested or what's called two-dimensional array. Let me consider another example for this one, which is the last example on arrays for this lesson. This one is assigning numbers, random numbers like 4, 16, 34, 2, 22, and 11. And here they use the method sort. Sort what? Sort the array. So you use sort, which is a keyword here, and then they put the array name, which is numbers. So this will sort the array. You will use the loop with the array lengths. So here I'm declaring a variable, any name, they call it array lengths, equal count numbers, which is count the number of the array. This one will count the number of array, which is 1 2 3 4 5 6. So they have 6. This one will give you 6. So as if here you're saying for $x equal 0, $x less than 6, $x plus plus, do this. So instead of doing this, I can just put 6 and get done with it. Put 6 here and then get done with it. But they are just here taking an example that you can actually count the number of values in an array by using a count function, like that. So this will give you 6. Okay. So for $x equals 0, $x less than 6, which is the output of this line, $x plus plus, echo numbers $x, which is between brackets. You use the variable, the counter here for this for loop, and then for every single time put a new line. Yani you will see this sorted: 2 first, then 4, then 11, then 16, then 22, then 34, like that. And there is a new line every time between these numbers. So here it is 6. You see it like that: 2, 4, 11, 16, 22, and 34. So here, for example, if you don't have this one, of course you will see them sorted, but you will see them all in one line. You can actually concatenate a space instead of a space like that, instead of a new line, and then you will see them like separated like that with a space. But here in this example, they are sorted using a new line break. So in this line break, you will see them like that. This is the last example for array. Let me consider functions. For functions, I have created some examples here. First, a function is a small program that does a specific job. You have done it in Java, JavaScript, and C++. And in PHP, you use the where function and then the function name, like this. This is a function name. And then a statement. Here I have only one statement. It says echo Jebel University College. That's it. And then after that, you need to call the function by putting its name followed by a semicolon, same like you did in previous classes in Java and JavaScript. This is a function name. You execute it just like that. So you call it by executing it. So this program is called fun1. Fun1. So we give you Jebel University College. You can change the color as I said before. So for example, if you like to change the color for this one, for example, I would like to concatenate here. Let me fun1. Where is it? Fun1. I would like to put this color here, color red, concatenate it to Jebel University College. That means I would like to change this Jebel University College, make it big, and make it color red. I use, by the way, you need to use single quotation, not double quotation. Double quotation and double quotation will give you wrong error, or you give you a mistake, because here this one, it might think that you are closing it here, and then it will break. So you have to use single quotation right here, so that the double quotation is closed here and the single quotation is closed here. So this one will actually change the color and size of this text. So you can actually change the text by using CSS inline style inside the PHP code, as you see here. Another example for functions, look at this one. This function is making calculation. Here in this program, I am creating a function called sum. I am actually passing two parameters, x and y, and then declaring a variable called z, assigning it to the $x and $y, which is the two parameters, and retain z. So every time I pass two arguments to the function sum, it is going to give me the value of that. So it retains what? It retains x plus y and save them here, and then retains the value for that variable, which is z. Look, I have three statements here. The first statement is 5 plus 10 equal. This is a string. You will see it as is, but you concatenate or join the name of the function followed by two numbers, which is 5 and 10. So 5 for x and 10 for y. This will give you 15. Then the second line, after a new line here, it will give you 7 plus 13. So the value for this function retains 20, and this one will retain 6. So they have 3 lines. These 3 lines, each one will give you different number. So this program is called fun2. Let me just try it, and here it is. So this is string as is. This is string as is. This is string as is. But these values 15 and 20 and 6, they are retained by the function that is created for this for this purpose. Okay. Right. I have two more examples, I think, which is fun3. This program is to create a function add numbers, and then pass two parameters, then return a plus b, so it retains the value of this. Here you are calling the function by using echo statement and then the function name, and then pass any two values. So for example, you'd like to pass 51 and 63. So this one will add 51 to 63 and then return them as values for these return functions. So here I am just returning the two parameters, and here I'm passing two arguments, which is just two numbers, any two numbers randomly. Let me put 50 plus 60 here and see what happens. This one will give you 110, the value for this return function 3, 110. Alright, the last example for this video is going to be using globals. I have this one, globals, as a global variable. Yani global variable can be declared outside the function and given a value, like these two different values, 75 and 25 has been declared here as x and y. Then here they have a function called addition, in which they are using this keyword, which is globals, $globals. You have to use this between bracket, you have to use a variable in single quotation. And here, for example, they said they would like to say yani, x plus y equal z. So you can actually use globals. So as if you are saying z equal x plus y, but they are using the keyword globals to define these two values as it's called like an argument for the globals method in PHP. So global z equal globals x plus globals y, and then here I just execute the function without any argument, as empty argument. So it doesn't have any argument, but because they are global variables. Here you need to echo z. What is z? Z is a value that has been used here inside this constant. Alright, so this one, the last example, which is 4, to give you 100, which is 75 plus 25. Now I made it 50, 25. You'll see that the change will happen here. Will give you 75. So, but this one is a keyword we have used in globals. There is another method for global, which is global, a small case, but this is the way we use the global variables as well. The variable scope will determine the value of the function. So this one will actually can be used in any other functions. If you have other functions in this program, can be used for this function and other functions inside this PHP program. This is the difference between global variable and any local variable. If you like to use these two variables inside, you can just put them inside this function as local variables and then use normally. You don't have to use any keyword for the globals. Alright, so this is all about examples that I would like to show you about arrays and functions in PHP. I'm going to upload them to week 11.